Hello, my name is Allison Morris, and I am coming to you from Full Potential Parenting and Transcending. I am also a member of the Transgender Parents Facebook group, and I have seen quite a few posts of late of parents, primarily whose kids are a fair amount older, who have just transitioned, and parents are really feeling kind of blindsided, really taken unawares, and just really wishing the whole thing had never happened. Notwithstanding, the fact that they love their kids a bunch. And so I thought I would offer a short tapping video to show you some ways that you might move through some of these feelings, which, let's be honest, don't feel very good. For those of you who are unfamiliar with tapping, it's also called Emotional Freedom Techniques, or EFT, and it involves tapping on various acupressure points on your face and your body, and you can just follow along with me. The thing I love about tapping are the 3 A's. Tapping, first off, allows you to acknowledge what you're feeling so that nothing is ever wrong. You feel what you feel, and that's fine. So you get to acknowledge your feelings, and that in and of itself can be extremely powerful. The second A is that tapping allows you to allow yourself to feel. So instead of trying to resist your feelings, shut them off, push them away, pretend they're not there, all those things, you actually allow yourself to feel what you're feeling. And the third A in tapping that is so powerful is acceptance. So we accept and love ourselves despite, or maybe even because of the way we're feeling. So that, as Matt Kahn likes to say, we always deserve more love, not less. And this is a way to give yourself compassion, to be gentler, kinder to yourself, something that we all need more of, especially, I think, in parents who are going through just, some really difficult times. And let's be honest, the world feels a little crazy right now. So we all need a little bit more tenderness in our lives. All right, so let's get started. And what I'd like you to do is, if this is your issue, I would like you to really feel into any feelings that you have that you just wish your kid weren't trans. You wish they'd never told you. You wish it had never happened. You wish your child would just go back to being the child that you have known for however many years. I don't want you to feel guilty about it, although if you do feel guilty, that's okay. You can do some more tapping on that. But just notice those feelings and allow yourself to feel them. And in particular, you might notice where in your body you feel them. We're not going to tap on that specifically this time, but you can do tapping on like a pit in your stomach, or a clenching in your jaw, or aching in your heart. So just notice where you feel if you'd like. You can give yourself a rating on a scale of 0 to 10, where 0 is everything is fine, and 10 is, you're sobbing in a corner in a heap and you can't function. You're just so overwhelmed by what your child's told you and how much you do not want it to be true. So first thing we do is we go to the side of the hand point here. You can use either hand, and you can tap with either hand. If you're left-handed, it's usually people are more comfortable tapping with the hand that they are most dominant in, but sometimes it can be really good to shift it up and switch. But either way, so let's start. You can use one hand and tap on the side of hand point on the other hand, and then just repeat after me. Even though I really, really don't want my child to be transgender, I love and accept myself anyway. Even though I wish I could just wake up tomorrow and everything were back the way it was. I love the one who wishes that were true. Even though I just want my child back, I'm overwhelmed with thinking about what this means for us, for my family, for me, for my child. I accept myself and the way I feel. Okay, and then we're going to go to the eyebrow point right here. Just follow along with me. I didn't want this to happen. Side of the eye. I don't want this to be happening. Under the eye. I just wish this would all go away. Under the nose. I just want the child I used to have to come back to me. Chin point. I don't want to have to deal with this new child that I suddenly have. The collarbone point, this one can be a little tricky. Just kind of find your collarbone, your clavicle, go down a little bit, and I like to just kind of tap, go all the way across from one to the other. That way you make sure you really get that point. Yes, I love my child, but I wish this weren't happening. And then under the arm, about 4 inches below your armpit, about where the bra strap crosses for women. I just don't want to deal with this. And then you can finish at the top of your head. I just don't want this to be true. That's considered one round. And now let's just keep going back to the eyebrow point. I want to wake up and have my life back the way it was. Side of the eye. I just don't want my kid to be trans. Under the eye. I know that sounds awful, but that's the way I feel. Under the nose. This feels like a nightmare. Chin point. I don't want to deal with this. Collarbone. I'm not sure I can deal with this. You can also reach across your chest to get to your underarm point if you'd rather do that. Oh, I don't want this to be true. Top of the head. I just really wish my kid were not transgender. All right, and let's stop there and take a big breath in. So I want to say just a few words about the words that we were using. As you notice, usually when tapping, you use the negative words. You're talking about the things you don't like, that you don't want, that you wish weren't happening to you. And sometimes that can feel really harsh to people, and I would certainly advise you, I should have mentioned this up front, try to remember to put it in the comments before I post this, that you not do this around your child. Obviously, you don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but you also don't want to pretend that you are not feeling the way you feel. So if the words that I used there don't quite work for you, that's fine. Change them and put in your own words. And if you can't come up with words and all you do is say over and over again, I don't want this to be happening. I wish this weren't true. I wish this would go away. I want to wake up from this nightmare, whatever. Or just say the same words over and over again. That's also perfectly fine. The key is to use the words that kind of speak to you, that really resonate for you. You might find yourself yawning or sighing as you go through this. That's good. If you find yourself crying, that's fine. Crying is great. Crying is a release. And it's a good way to just let things out. So I hope that's been helpful. I'd be happy to answer any questions about tapping. So I hope that this brings you a little bit of relief for the situation that you find yourself in. And, you know, if that didn't bring you down to a 0, and it very likely may not have, these are difficult emotions and they're not always just going to get resolved in 2 minutes of tapping. You can keep tapping. You can pause and come back and do some more tapping later. So just kind of check in with yourself, notice how you're feeling. And sometimes you don't feel better right away, but you'll notice later in the day that you all of a sudden feel a lot lighter. You're not as bogged down by the heaviness of your emotions. So I'm going to sign off there. Thank you again. My name's Allison Morris, and I will be back another time with some more tapping for you. Thank you. Bye-bye.